go towards that sport more so than cricket, JT?
Yeah, I think it's because it's a bit more hard and fast than cricket. Obviously, you can be out in the field for the best part of
all day,
3 or 4 hours.
Yes,
and go out and get a bat and you out first ball. So it doesn't seem to be fair. But look, I've always sort of leaned towards cricket. I like the tactics behind it. I like the fact that next ball can change the match considerably. So that's always been the go-to for me. Plus, when I was at boarding school, it was a good chance to go to school for the whole day. So that's how I fell in love with cricket and then went from there.
Fair enough. Of course,
softball boys will be back at school after 2 hours. What a waste of time.
Yeah, that's very true. But I tell you what, one of the things I like about softball, though, too, is also the tactics and the trick plays that can come about. Reno?
Yeah, totally. Whether they call for your bunch shot or whatever it is, and it's a lot of pressure when you got full bases all set up there, and someone's got to try and do something pretty tricky to try and get at least 1 or 2 home. It does. It comes down to tactics, and you're talking about pitching. I've got some good old memories of being taught on how things are supposed to curl with the ball and do what and do that. And hey, it's good times. I like to see a resurgence of some of the softball being happening around in the towns. I reckon it'd be cool as, and everyone talks about it. We all played what was the game? Hit the ball and you got to roll it back to hit the bat.
Yeah.
Well, that type of stuff.
Bat down,
was it? Yeah,
bat down.
So,
yeah.
A lot of the Māori whānau used to play there in their streets.
Yeah.
And hit the ball, bat down, and roll it back, and until it hit the bloody window, then everyone just scattered as fast as they could.
True. Yes. Yeah, I remember those days.
Someone's the window and was a neighbour. Was like, "Oh, out of here!" Drop the bat and they'll run.
Yeah, remember those days.
Everyone would blame everyone else for doing it.
True that. But JT, you said you went over there and watched the Yankees, and that would have been quite an experience then, eh?
Oh, quite the experience. I mean, even though I'm a Giants fan, the New York Yankees have certainly got the prestige and the mana when it comes to baseball in the US. And the likes of Babe Ruth, Derek Jeter, and Joe DiMaggio, all ex-Yankee legends. So, look, it was an honour to get to one of their games. And they won. I wasn't really cheering for them, but just good to hang out at Yankee Stadium itself and see the great place. Same with the Staples Centre. I'm a Celtics fan, not so much a Lakers fan.
Me too. Yep.
All the boys are going for the Lakers in the 80s. No, I'll go for the Celtics. Something different. Robert Harris, Larry Bird,
Yes.
Kevin McHale.
McHale.
Those names.
Yeah. Now I'm still a Celtics fan, actually. Still a Celtics fan. But not to say that I didn't like the Lakers, especially back in, Magic Johnson's day, eh? I mean, those clashes that Johnson and Bird had, those were just epic.
Legendary.
Absolutely. Just absolutely epic. Saved the game of the NBA, too. Then, of course, Michael Jordan came along and elevated the game in a huge way, so... Yeah, but Staples Centre, that must have been something too, eh?
Yeah, it was actually quite funny because we had to leave at 3/4 time because typically the flights out of LAX back to Australia leave at about 11 p.m. So we sort of caught the first half 3/4 and we had to leave to get to the airport. But it was still an experience. But still that Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl.
Right.
2013 is still right up there.
Right. Yeah, that was one heck of a Super Bowl too. So.
Yeah, 34-31, I think, from memory to the Ravens.
Yeah.
San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick at quarterback.
Yeah.
Just left their run a little bit too late. And the big fella, Michael Orr, remember the movie The Blind Side?
Yes.
With Sandra Bullock, so he was part of that Ravens offensive line of scrimmage. So,
yeah. Yeah. Man, that would have been something to go and watch. That is for sure. Go into a Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know how many people there would have been, but there would have been a whole heck of them, eh?
Yeah, it was up around the high 80s to 90,000 from memory at the Mercedes Superdome.
Right, yes.
It was made famous by when the cyclone or Hurricane Katrina hit. A lot of it, the ground of that was used as a marae to house people. So,
right. Yeah. Oh, awesome stuff. Anyway, well, let's talk about cricket, of course. That gets underway. The second test gets underway there, JT. Of course, I think it was last weekend. Things weren't looking too flash for the New Zealanders, but they came away with the win in the end. Real good stuff from that on debut, what's his name, Patel? Man of the match. What a heck of an effort from him, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really follow it too much because they didn't really show it here. They showed highlights.
Oh, right.
So I was sort of watching, a couple of my friends on Facebook were sort of keeping us up in the loop, and then, when they said that we won in, by 4 runs or something, 8 runs, it was. Yeah, what a magnificent effort by the boys. So restores a bit of pride in that black cap setup. So hopefully they can go on with it, because Pakistan are a good side, even though they're not playing at home these days.
Yeah.
Due to the terrorist threat or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, good win for the boys. Just wish that they were coming to play Australia, because Australia are very vulnerable at the moment. Right,
true. True. And it is a shame that they're not playing them, but yeah, that's very true. What else has been happening? Oh, well, of course, there's the Breakers, isn't there, Reno? The Breakers, I think they had another loss the other day against the Perth. Have you been kind of keeping up with them there, Reno?
Yeah, that was last night, overtime thriller at Spark Arena, and again, that's their 4th straight loss. That's the 4th straight win, actually, for the Wildcats over the Kiwi team. So 98-93, I think, was the result there. So, yeah, thriller.
Wow.
Good crowd. Again, the supporters begging them on the social media last night, and Breakers should have had their game, but just our class and that extra time, things don't seem to be going well for the new coach and a couple of new players. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Bit of a long season, but they need to start bringing in these wins. The Breakers remind me of the Warriors.
Yeah, and that's not in a good thing either, is it? Hey, bro, that's not in a good thing. But
no, because a lot riding on the Breakers, because they've been good over the last few years. They're up and down year one part there, but then they turned that whole thing around, and it just seemed to be it used to be the Cauldron, Spark Arena. Always tough to beat the Breakers at home, and most teams these days seem to be finding it with ease, even if it is an extra time. But, they've got to start winning.
They do. That is for sure, because, they certainly need to start winning. I mean, what have the crowds been like, though, anyway, there, Reno?
Yeah, still supportive, actually. They have a lot of entertainment at Spark Arena. So you get the die-hard basketball fans. I was watching a couple of friends last night on the Instagram stuff, and they had the American mates over here to come and show them a bit about our Breakers and everything like that. But, still good crowds. They still got the hype of people turning up as well. And, there'll be fans that'll stick by them right through. And we just got to see how things progress. It's a long season, and let's hope the boys can turn things around for the Breakers. I'm loving their singlets. They're selling out real fast with the Māori kuri designs, everything like that. So, the crowds are pretty good, Keithy.
Indeed. Now, the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup is continuing. Now, they've got they're into the quarterfinals, actually. New Zealand will be up against Japan tomorrow. I'm not sure what. I think it's 9 a.m. our time. So that'll be certainly something to watch out for. New Zealand up against Japan, 9 a.m. our time, I believe. Anyway, what else has been happening out there sports-wise, Reno?
Yeah, well, I suppose for all motorsport fans with the New Zealand and Australia, this is the big weekend in Newcastle. This is where we're going to find out tomorrow. I'll be watching this tomorrow. Who is going to be the 2018 champion? Is it going to be Shane Van Gisbergen, who seems to be pretty quick around Newcastle, or is going to be the other Kiwi, Scotty McLaughlin. So, there'll be a lot watching that. McLaughlin been pretty quick in practice. There's not much in this. It's only points difference, 19 overall, and everyone's turned up to Newcastle. I see Kalen Ponga had a bit of a drive with old Mostert in his Falcon. Kalen looked like a rag doll in the car. But, he's never been that fast before. G-Forces, he was talking about it. It was one of the best things he's ever done in his whole young life. So, it is huge. This weekend's the big weekend, and we'll see who will be, as I say, crowned
yeah.
the VA champion for 2018. I do know on the motorsport side of things, and I know you sponsor Race Brags, most surely have some of the workers or crew out at your speedway track. They've got the mini stocks out there, and I understand over 50 of them have arrived. So you got a big event in town, Keithy, for all the mini stock fans out there, and always good to see the dirt getting flicked around and everyone eating hot dogs, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, big weekend, that is for sure. I mean, especially over there in Australia.
Especially, let me interrupt, Keith. There's one of the legends of Australian motorsport, Craig Lowndes, is retiring. It's his last race today, so big ups to Lowndes. He's been an icon to the sport. Never bad-mouthed anyone, always been sort of a wholesome, clean, track in the middle sort of a bloke. So good luck to Lowndes in his last race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something to look forward to. His last race as a full-time driver, Reno.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he's currently third at this stage.
Right.
There is a lot of talk because his team he races for, it's all part of the team with the Red Bull Holden. So Jamie Whincup says he's already going to be in there trying to block out McLaughlin and Coulthard.
Right.
So there is team tactics going on here, and whether it gets through, if things don't pan out well for Gizzy, then they're going to work with Craig Lowndes. So it comes down to team tactics this whole weekend. To see Craig Lowndes wave goodbye the last lap of his outstanding career. Didn't matter what emblem he drove for. He was just a young, talented driver that's obviously lived up to his idol, the late Peter Brock.
Yes.
And, that's why there was over 100,000+ at Pukekohe a few weeks back to see the great Lowndes say goodbye to his fans over the years in Auckland. So, it'll be an emotional drive for this young man. He is going to be back at Bathurst. He'll be back in those series for next year, obviously winning it, which was the dream for him because, he's right up there when it comes to that. But a big loss, but no doubt he'll be like an ambassador in motorsport, I would guess. And, it's just good to see him. I think it was himself, Jamie Whincup and Shane Van Gisbergen, all racing in the Audi series. So he's still got that motorsport life in him, and good on him.
Indeed.
It's been a wonderful journey.
What else has been happening out there sports-wise, Reno?
Yeah, well, golf. Everyone's talking a bit about golf. It's this weekend, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. We know you watched a couple of Tiger Woods movies during the week, Keithy. And,
what were they called again? Tiger's Wood. Tiger's Wood or something.
Hey? What are those movies, Keithy? Something like that. I think it was, what was it called? Tiger Got Wood. Yes.
I am not touching that. You shouldn't have seen it.
Anyway, what's been happening with Tigers? What's been happening with Tiger anyway?
I heard he got a new tattoo of Wendy.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
While we're talking about golf there, we'll move on from the Tiger adult world with his Wood. Kiwi pair Ryan Fox and Mark Brown, 3 shots only the other day behind the leaders. They've got the World Cup of Golf on underway as well. Danny Lee seems to have got through pretty well. He's in the top 100 world rankings after playing in Mexico earlier this month. So, golf's going pretty good, and no doubt there'll be a lot of golf at the summer coming up, and we'll see how things happen there. The Wallabies got a big rugby game this weekend, tonight actually, against England.
Right.
So I see they've dropped Courtney Beale and Ashley Cooper.
Oh, wow.
Broke the team rules. So Michael Chicka's going to kick them to the side and to think about what they've done. Also, a lot of corridor going on in Ireland as well about the impact of this Kiwi coach, Joe Schmidt, after what he done to the All Blacks. There is a lot of talk. There's even come back to the country. Is he going to be the new coach of the All Blacks? Because Steve Hampton is going to make the announcement at the end of the year, prior to Christmas, actually, to tell everyone what his future is. I think most punters would say he will carry on through to the World Cup, and that will be it.
Yeah, I agree.
Who will take over? Well, people are kind of hoping back here in this country, maybe Joe Schmidt. I did see something a few months ago about Dave Rennie, who was posted up as a possible coach. So, yeah, the guy hasn't even got to the World Cup yet.